Call this meeting of June 22nd, 2020 of the Atwater City Council to order. Roll call, please.
Ambrose,
Here.
Hale,
Here.
Raymond,
Here.
Sierra. Here. Creighton,
Here.
we have a quorum.
Okay, reports city manager, city attorney.
Yes, council considered one item of anticipated litigation and 2 property matters, and there was direction and discussion given, no reportable action. Council also considered items on the June 8th regular meeting, anticipated litigation matters. Council received information, provided direction, and there was no reportable action.
Subsequent need items.
Mayor, there are no subsequent need items.
Approval of agenda as posted or amended.
I make a motion to approve as posted or amended.
I'll second.
Motion by Vieira, second by Kale.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Sierra,
Yes.
Raymond,
President Williams, yeah. I'll do that. I'll skip that. Okay, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance led by Supervisor McDaniel and invocation by Pastor Motts. Please rise and remain standing for the prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing.
As I get ready to lead in prayer, if I can just say real quick, I haven't seen Danny since last time I was at the meeting here, and since then, you and your wife had a new baby come into your family. So let me say congratulations. Thank you. And the pictures on Facebook look fantastic. So I look forward to meeting all the family in person. But great thing to celebrate. And so let's pray. God, we come tonight, we do recognize your goodness in the very many ways and forms that it comes to us as we celebrate with the Ambrose family, and just are reminded of the notes of blessing that we find along the way, even in midst of times that are often filled with chaos and trouble for us. We come and we look for your blessing. God, tonight we ask for your guidance for this body in particular, as we as a community gather together to seek after your help in walking through this time. That the council, that the mayor, council members, all the staff who are here today committed to serving this community would receive a gift of calm and a gift of discernment as they seek to understand the landscape that is ever-changing around us and the challenges that we face today that maybe we have never faced in the same way ever before. So without a playbook, God, we have to rely on our own best judgment and upon your guidance. And so, Father, I pray that our best judgment would be revealed tonight, even as we rely on your guidance. Pray that you would continue to make us open and compassionate with one another, even as we seek to be open and compassionate as a community to those all around us. So we pray for your leading, and we thank you for the chance of being together to make this place a better place, filled with peace, filled with justice, filled with a sense of hope in the midst of all that makes it feel so strange. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Mr. Mayor, could I also say one more point of personal privilege here? I'd like to say thank you to Chief Salvador. Personally, in the last month, there's been a lot going on. I think we all are aware of that, both locally but especially nationally, especially as it regards policing, and it's been in the media a lot. In the last month, I've had the opportunity a couple of times to meet with Chief Salvador. I found him very open to the needs of the community and very much dealing with integrity for the challenges that we're facing. I was pleased to be able to work with some other pastors in town and have Chief come along with and be right in the middle of. He addressed a gathering designed to both recognize some of the challenges we face, but also looking for a path of peace through it. And so for your leadership Chief, I appreciate that very much, as do much of the community who are getting to know you and appreciate what you bring to us here in Atwater. So thank you very much. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, those are kind words. Presentations, monthly verbal report by County Supervisor District 3, Darren McDaniels. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. And Mayor, congratulations on MCAG chairmanship. That's going to be, you're going to enjoy that one immensely.
Yeah, that pays pretty well. It's $0.
I'm here to report out to you that the county did pass their preliminary budget for 2020, 2021, $684 million budget, which is an increase of $10 million from last year's final budget. To give you an idea, the increase is primarily due to a $7 million appropriation that we got from the state with the help of Assemblymember Gray, and that's going towards our homeless navigation center that we broke ground on about 2 weeks ago. We're putting the foundation in now, and it'll be able to house up, at the beginning, 75, but up to 150 beds in this complex. We also had a $3.5 million increase from public health programming. That comes directly from the state and the feds. To give you an idea what the budget is, our total budget, no, we'll go to the general fund budget, but a lot of folks kind of see what the balances and the percentages are. We actually do 61% of our general fund budget to health and human services, and 23% to public safety and our justice system. Don't forget the justice system is not only the county jail, but also the DA and probation, as well as the sheriff's department. And then support services are 11%, well as municipal and county-wide service of 5%. So this is our proposed budget. This is probably the best guess that we've ever had to do because we don't know exactly where we're gonna come with the state, and I'm sure you guys are in the same position. The one thread of highlight that we've seen is in the same capsule that we just heard that the state is down 20% in their revenues. Merced County was only down 9% in sales tax revenues. So I know that's good for the city of Atwater. It's good for all our cities here and as well as the county. So let's keep our fingers crossed. It looks like people are taking their stimulus checks and spending them locally on stuff here at our local stores, and we want to keep encouraging that. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Yes,
We need to finish the motion for approval of agenda as
Okay.
posted.
I vote yes.
So we had a motion from Viera and a second from Kale.
Yes.
Okay. Ambrose?
What is this for?
I sped it before the vote.
Gotcha, okay, yes.
Viera?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Kale?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Presentations, okay, did consent calendar.
Background information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Motion by Kale, second by Viera.
Viera?
Yes.
Kale?
Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 8, public hearings, resolution adopting 2021 fiscal year budget and approving fund expenditures, fund transfers, establishing appropriations and limitations, setting miscellaneous fee schedule, and amending classification plan and approving salary schedule A-21, effective July 1st, 2020. City Manager Waterman.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. We had a budget workshop earlier this afternoon, and with it is the proposed budget for fiscal year 2021, and it continues the multi-year fiscal solvency recovery program that City Council implemented by adopting the city's strategic plan on March 25th, 2019. We are ending fiscal year 1920 with a positive fund balance of $1.2 million. This proposed fiscal year budget is a strategic, sustainable, balanced budget, does not impact or touch the city's reserve funds, and is not cutting or laying off no furloughed employees. So that's a positive thing. The city's financial condition is stronger today because of the financial policies and leadership from the city council, the commitment through the organization, and our management staff. With the arrival of the coronavirus pandemic in early February, coupled by Governor Newsom's stay-at-home orders, the city of Atwater's economic outlook continued to change. The closure of non-essential businesses will create a drastic reduction in economic activity. Staff was faced with difficult budgetary decisions, as Supervisor McDaniel said. The city took a very conservative outlook on the city impact and projects revenue loss at 20%. This budget continues the city council goals, identifying the lack of the reduction of revenues. We're still budgeting continued increase into general fund reserve balance to meet the city council goal of a 10% reserve fund balance. We're budgeting $100,000 for our PERS and OPEB obligations. This is our third year of budgeting this. New this year is also a new line item, which would begin the process for updating the city's expired general plan, as well as updating the city's housing element. We continue to make outlined loan payments to the sewer fund, and because the city will not have our final sales tax data for the fourth quarter until late August, we'll be returning back to council with updated numbers as we go and revisions based on that. But staff, all directors should be commended for their commitment to a sustainable budget. Again, this budget was based on not utilizing reserves, and I'd like to thank our finance director, Jacobs Hunter, as well as our deputy city manager, Del Real, for their dedication in successful preparation of this year's preliminary budget document. I'm confident that Atwater will emerge and recover from this global health crisis. Our community is strong, and we will get through this together because we are Atwater strong. And working with the city council and our citizens, we continue to see the city council's vision for promoting positive progress in Atwater, and I'm happy to be a part of that.
Councilwoman Vieira wanted to say something too.
Well, first, do the public hearing and hear what the public has to say, and then
Okay.
I'll do what I need to say. I'm so sorry, I forgot about that part.
Okay, this time I'll open up to the public. Any members of the public could come forward on this item? Well, okay. We'll do that. So I'll delay the public comment to the end. So you're okay with, you did want
Yeah.
to say something, that's why.
Yeah, I did. I was just gonna make a motion. I was very satisfied in reviewing a very well-put-together budget. Very easy to go through, get the questions answered. We met with city staff prior to today to get questions answered ahead of time. Darren, I was excited to see that Merced County was only down 9%. I know when I'm in the stores, everybody's there, so they just went from all the non-essentials, they kept shopping. This budget is passed, or is being proposed with a 20% reduction for COVID. That puts us about 12% ahead of the game, so it's always better to have more than less. I think that everybody was very conservative to pass this budget. I am very happy with it. I think all of our questions were answered. So when the appropriate time, I would make a motion to approve this budget, and let's get rolling. I think it's a great budget.
Okay. So do we want to do the presentation first for the public's sake? Let's do that. Roll through that. Then we'll bring it back for direction and a little bit of comment.
Absolutely.
So Kelly, you want to go ahead and roll the tape?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. Good evening. Whoops. Okay, this evening, I have I'll try not to make it too long. We have the City of Atwater 2021 budget presentation for Council and the our audience tonight. And I see one member of the audience who's already knows this by heart, right? She was here earlier today. Okay, sorry.
Where's Glenn at? Is Glenn out of the room?
No, I have it, and I thought I did. I didn't do what. Sorry, I apologize. First of all, we'll start out kind of at the global level. And this would be for all funds for the 2021 budget. And what we're here to present to you this evening is for all funds, we're seeing revenue transfers in of 49.27 million. And expenditures transfers out 77.84 million. Please keep in mind that the 77.84 million does include a very large capital project for our TCP well rehabilitation remediation.
Sorry.
Project. So when you take that from the 77.84 million, then we have net expenditures transfers out of 54.54 million that we're anticipating. If we look at a little more of a breakdown between our major funds, which would be general fund and non-general fund, for the general fund, which houses all of our public safety, our day-to-day operations.
Kelly, can you pause 1 second? We're trying to fix the microphone from.
I'm getting loud and quiet.
You can hear it in here, it's not doing it on the stream.
Okay, then we just want to make sure that we're getting
Okay.
recorded.
So, so for our general fund, which is police, fire, recreation, parks, finance, administration, human resources, I don't want to miss anybody. It wasn't intentional. We're going to see revenue of 13.88 million in 2021, and expenditures are budgeted at 13.85 million. That will leave us with a slight surplus of 0.03 million or 35,000, which is very positive, very difficult with the COVID-19 and the unknown factors, and even with the reductions that we anticipated in the budget to our sales tax due to COVID-19, we're still predicting and feel very confident about having a surplus at the end of the fiscal year. And as City Manager Waterman said, at the end of this fiscal year, 1920, our general fund has a projected $1,231,449, and with our surplus we're projecting in 2021, should council adopt the budget, will be at $1,267,162, which is a huge progress for the city of Atwater. This is the second consecutive year that the city of Atwater has enjoyed the pleasure of having a general fund positive fund balance. For 8 years, they had a negative fund balance. This council made the decision that they would get to fiscal solvency and also strive towards a 10% general fund reserve, which with this budget, that would represent 1.388 million. And as you can see, we're going to be darn close to that at the end of 21, which is absolutely unbelievable in a 24-month period to go from a negative number to almost having 10%. So kudos to the council and the decisions they've made and followed through on. For our non-general fund, so everything outside the general fund, we're anticipating revenue transfers in of 35.39 million, and expenditures transfers out is 63.99, which once again includes the TCP, the very large well rehabilitation remediation project in our TCP fund. And in the budget, the entire budget has funding for 77.5 full-time equivalent positions. That is just a slight decrease from the 2020 budget, which funded 81.5 positions. And that was necessary just due to the fact of the challenges we face with the unknowns from the COVID impact to our local economy and on our sales tax. Here we look at fund summary for the city's funds. This is the first half of the page, and of course, general fund it's in fund order, and general fund is 0001. So you can see, as we talked about, the fund balance, the audited fund balance at 6/30/19. What we're projecting next week at 6/30 is the 1.231, and then should this budget be adopted by council, will be at 1,267 and some change. So, and then we have some of our other funds on this page, and then here's the second page. Sorry, it's a little small. This will be on the website tomorrow, so please feel free to pull that up, and you can see it in a little bigger font. And here is plotted, the general fund balance plotted, and hopefully you can see the line there, but as we talked about, the red dots for quite a few years, unfortunately, Atwater experienced a deficit fund balance in their general fund, and second consecutive year that we're in the positive, and we're continuing our upward trajectory, that has been the goal of this council. There are a couple things as we look toward the future here in Atwater that we need to remember and are always in the back of our minds. And one of them is that the general fund does have a loan from the wastewater fund, and the balance outstanding at July 1st to 20 is $1.72 million. There's 9 years remaining on the loan amortization schedule. So we always have to keep that in mind as we budget the general fund yearly, that it's $190,000 and we'll have 9 more years. And then, as always, I've been in this local government for 28 years. I've yet to see retirement costs or healthcare costs decrease, nor utility costs for that matter. So we always have to keep that in mind as we're going to see future increases, and how can we maximize our revenue potential here in the city to cover those types of increases that just unfortunately happen. Oops. And then the general fund revenue, actually I had made really good progress in March and estimated the general fund revenue, and then COVID-19 hit, and then I had to basically scrap that and really sit down and go through each line item and say, hey, this is something we've never seen before. This is unprecedented. I've lived through 2 recessions, but I've never seen an impact like a national health crisis. So, how is the COVID-19 going to affect our local economy, which in turn is going to reduce our sales tax? So we took the conservative route, and we estimated 20% reduction in sales tax, which we feel is conservative. We feel that, we hope we'll do better than that. I truly don't believe it will be any less than that. So this way we present a balanced budget with, if we want to say worst case scenario. One great thing about Atwater that we see, and just on Friday we received the assessor's roll for both secured and unsecured property tax, and in Atwater it continues to grow. There was 4.8% for 2021. That's great. So even though we may see a little bit of a constriction on our sales tax, hopefully temporarily due to COVID-19, we do show a strong property tax base that continues to grow. Here's the general fund revenue summary by major category. And there was just one item, because I know it sticks out to me when I look at it, is the miscellaneous revenue for 2021. The estimate is quite different than what it was in 1920, and that was due to a real property sale in 1920. That is a one-time sale of real property. So obviously we don't have that revenue to estimate again. So just that's why I highlighted it, because other than that, you can see everything's pretty much in line, except the sales tax, of course, is down some due to the COVID-19. And here's our general fund revenue just in pie chart form, so you can kind of see where the biggest piece of the pie is our sales tax and property tax, and 1920 is on the left. And as you can see for 2021, we're anticipating that our property tax will provide us a little bit bigger piece of the pie, and the sales tax just slightly constricted, and we hope that that's just momentarily for the fiscal year. And so the major, for our general fund appropriations or expenditures, when we put together the budgets, obviously with the challenges that we faced with the COVID-19 popping up in March, we had to send the departments back to the drawing board and really ask them to go through their budgets and really shave and trim what they could without, we didn't want to have big effects or service levels to our constituents. So I commend the departments. They went through and they went through their budgets. They really shaved off anything that was left, even though for years Atwater has always been very conservative. One way we did achieve some of the gap between the revenue and the expenditures was with our current CAL FIRE contract. We were able to work with CAL FIRE and to look at that current contract and really examine it and be able to achieve about $415,000 in savings for this next fiscal year. So that was a big assistance to the city. Unfortunately, the part that can impact service levels is there's a couple positions where the employees are retiring, and those will not, at this time, they are not in the 2021 budget, those positions to be funded. So hopefully, as the year goes on, if we see it's a positive year, we'll be able to restore some of those couple positions. And then, of course, the departments went through and shaved all their non-payroll accounts down to travel, training, everything down to bare minimum. And here is the general fund expenditures by department. So you can see here for 18-19, the audited numbers by department, the 19-20 budgeted. This is the original budget, not the amended budget. I apologize. And then 2021 is our proposed budget that we're presenting tonight. So you can see there how each department sizes up. And there it is in pie form. So as with most general funds, except for the county, public safety is the majority of our general fund, as is with most cities. So you can see there how much pie everybody gets. We do have some other funds with public safety expenditures, and one of them is our public safety transaction sales and use tax fund. And it was a measure that was voted in March of 13. It provides a 0.5% or a 0.5 cent sales tax. And it is currently set to expire in the end of 2023. This is a sales tax, so we are anticipating an impact from COVID, meaning that we're expecting less dollars in 2021. We built in a anticipated reduction of $172,000. So prior to COVID, we were just over anticipating $2 million. Now we're at 1.8. So that is provides. Here's what our public safety transactions tax spending plan. So you can see here for 1920, 2021, 21-22, and 22-23, and will be the end of the current measure. So you can see there, this is frontline staff. These are officers on the street and things for the fire department that they need to do their daily work. So it is a huge benefit to the city. We also have our community facilities district. We have a police fields operations portion of that CFD. So at this time, it funds 2.5 positions, meaning that other half is actually budgeted in the general fund. Half of the police officer detective comes out of CFD, the other half out of general fund. So no, we don't have a half a person working. But it does provide, I mean, this is almost 3 more additional positions frontline. So, and the CFD does not have a sunset on it. Enterprise funds, water, sewer, and garbage, or water, wastewater, and sanitation. So as most of you live here, I'm sure you get a water, as I call it, a water, sewer, and garbage bill. So these are enterprise funds that run like a business. We set our fees to provide the service to our customers. They are kept separate, each enterprise fund, and the rates are set to pay for providing the service and capital replacement. Oops. Okay, so water fund. Basically, the only new items or things that I would consider highlights for 2021 that are different from 1920 is that we do see the continuation of our water meter conversion program going from flat rate residential to water meters, which is mandated. We're mandated to be completed by 2025. So there is $650,000 for the continuation of that program. There's also appropriation for painting the water tower. And of course, we talked about the TCP fund, and I'm sorry, that's a typo. It's $23.3 million of the TCP settlement. They're starting the project this next year for the well rehabilitation remediation of TCP from the drinking water system. In the wastewater fund or the sewer fund, it not only houses the operations of wastewater distribution and collection, but is also the debt service payments for our wastewater refunding bond series 2017A and 2018A. So that there's nothing else. We have a brand new wastewater treatment facility, so there's not a lot else right now and going on that fund and just operating it and paying the debt to build it. Sanitation fund. Yes, it is an enterprise fund, even though we have a contract franchise hauler. And this year, we've already circulated a request for proposals to conduct a sanitation service rate study. And we will be awarding that to a consultant, and they will go through and make sure that our curbside and commercial rates that we're charging the citizens or the constituents at Atwater, that it aligns with the monthly fees paid to the franchise hauler as the city pays the franchise hauler for providing service. So we need to make sure that those fees are set appropriately pursuant to the franchise agreement. And one other positive note in the sanitation fund is it also had a loan from the wastewater enterprise fund, and it just has one more payment after this fiscal year. So after 2021, they will have paid in full, which is very positive. I believe that was a 7-year loan. Oops. Okay, now I did it. I froze. Yeah. It was working till.
Maybe Kelvin can move it forward.
Did I just do that?
Yeah.
I got it. I'll do it for you.
Okay, yeah, I think the next isn't the CIP after this? There we go. So this is the last part of the program, is our 5-year capital improvement program for the city of Atwater. So this lays it out for all of the funds that have capital projects. And we're more than welcome to, this is just by title and dollar amount. And over to the right, it tells the funding source for the project. And these are by title only. So if anybody has any questions about what those projects are, staff would be happy to explain on where you'll be able to see those. And there's a couple more pages of those. And then that's it. And I'm happy to answer any questions or provide any clarification.
Thank you. At this time, do we have any speaker cards?
We do, Mayor, but they aren't pertaining to the
For this
budget.
item? Okay,
Correct.
we'll hold those to the end.
Okay.
Any members of the public like to come forward at this time on this item, please come to the podium. See none, we'll close public comment, bring it back to the dais.
Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead, Councilman Raymond.
Yeah, Director Jacobs Hunter, thank you for that presentation, and thank you for what you've done with the budget this year. It's been the most detailed budget during my tenure. I know Councilwoman Vieira's already kind of made a motion, but I just want to see, like we've done years past, that any monies that we receive from the sale of real property goes directly to pay down the debt.
Clerk, can you repeat the motion?
He was just wanting to clarify that any monies received from the sale of real property be used to pay down any debt that was owed for. Correct. So any past debt that was owed.
Want to handle it?
To clarify, Councilmember Raymond, is that an amendment to Cindy's motion, or is that just kind of direction and discussion?
Yeah, no, if she'll have that, I would like it to be a part of the motion.
Okay. I'm not sure that that's within the purview of this specific agenda item as far as proceeds to be used for. And this is all about the appropriations limits. So I think that may be better for a future agenda item discussion or future direction to staff or something like that. But I don't feel comfortable with it being a part of the motion for the budget adoption.
Okay. Well, then I guess I just have one more question for Director Jacobs Hunter. Do you know what the total amount we have in reserves is if we include the adopted or this budget? What it would be?
Yeah, the total general fund reserve, if the council were to adopt this proposed budget as presented? I'm sorry, was that
Yes,
the question? Yeah. Yeah, so, yes, that is the, on page 3 at the bottom of the, PowerPoint, we actually, sorry, we'll have.
Oh, no, I got it there.
So for the general fund, we're estimated to have $1,267,162, which is very close towards council's goal of the 10%, the resolution that was adopted.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much.
Did you have any other questions, Councilman Raymond?
No, that's it for now.
Thank you. So looking for a motion or direction or comments for the council?
I'll make a motion that we approve the budget as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion by Kale, second by Vieira.
If I could clarify, the agenda has a few actions on it. So is this, just to clarify, is the motion to approve the budget, or is it also to approve the related actions as well? So I think there's 3 items.
Yes, the related actions also.
Okay. So approve as recommended.
Okay,
The entire
call for the
item.
question.
Okay. Kale,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Vieira,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Creighton,
Yes.
motion passes.
So I want to make a quick statement that your council's listened to everyone. We've heard you loud and clear the last few years. And if this isn't evident of that, I don't know, short of bringing you guys almost $1.3 million to zero out our 10% budget surplus set aside and that we're paying down our debt, I think that the citizens of Atwater could be super proud of what you guys have done and what you've directed us to do, and we're listening. And I hope that in the future that when I'm long gone, the councils continue listening, because you guys do know what's right, you do know what you want, you do know what you need in this community. And we're balancing this budget, putting money away for a rainy day, and we're building a splash pad, paved Winton Way, putting in hundreds of thousands of square feet of safe routes to schools and sidewalks, modernizing the electrical system around undergrounding power lines, bringing in development when the whole country's shut down. My hat's off to the city of Atwater and the residents. You guys are killing it. So very proud of what you guys have done. Thank you. Council, you want to say anything?
I just want to say that I'm very proud of the staff. a couple of months ago when I was getting ready to shut down, look at budget, and I was going, man, we're gonna be in a heap of trouble. And I also have to say to the dais that when this first COVID-19 first came about, we jumped on it and said, let's do it. And city manager Waterman came back and said, we got to stop spending and stop doing what we're doing because we don't know what's happening. And then come back and find out that we're going to have a budget that's in the black. I was amazed when I heard that. And thank you, staff, everybody, including department heads, and from our workshop today, one of our questions that we've had for a number of years is what we're doing in the recreation department, and I think we're finally getting a handle on that. And kudos goes out to everybody, all you guys. You guys have done a great job.
You want to say anything regarding the budget? It's not your final closing comment.
I thought we jumped the gun there a little bit, but thank you guys for making this all work out. I am excited to see that there are no furloughs, that no one's losing their job. You guys answered all of our questions. You guys give us answers that we definitely appreciate and understand, and no one skirted around the questions. So thank you guys for all your hard work.
Vera?
Yes. So one thing I was brought away from our meeting earlier today was one kind of number, and I'm trying to find all of my notes that stood out, was like a $60,000 increase in our Parks Department. And I know that Madison had come forward and said, well, we want to put a real number out there of what it takes. She was able to, verify we have 80.
Oh, you're talking about the 83 acres of maintenance?
Yeah, we have 83 acres. And, I hear loud and clear so many people with complaints about the dead grass. And, it's summertime, even though the kids have been out of school for a while, they've got to have a place to go. So thank you for addressing that, for being proactive with that. It's kind of hard to come when we're all pinching our pennies and saying, hey, I'm up 63,000. But I think the community is willing to spend a little bit there to have usage of our parks and to see them green and usable. Just cutting dead grass, and it's not doing us any good. So I wanted to say thank you very much for that. So sometimes, even in the midst of cuts, we have to do really still what's best for our community. Nobody got laid off. We're not losing cops, not losing services. Our firemen are still up and going. And I don't hear that from our surrounding communities. A lot of communities that are in budget right now are afraid that they're going to have to cut services. So for the city of Atwater, we've tried really hard. We've worked diligently. And I think with what Madison is bringing us in our parks that, and I think you said Thursday, actually, we have some new hires coming in to step it up for the park. So I think soon you're going to see some green and flesh. So I think we're actually adding service. So thank you for that, for recognizing that. And I'm really proud of our council. I'm proud of our citizens. I'm very excited that how far we've come. I feel good. I feel good about my term that we've actually made a difference.
You guys making
That's
a big
it.
difference. Councilman Raymond? I'm not mad at you. 'cause
No, I
you go
pretty much said everything I had to. Good budget, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for your comments. Okay, we're gonna move to public comment period now. At this time, any members of the public like to come forward? Do you have any speaker cards? What? Yeah.
Did we get all, we got all?
We voted, we did. Yep. Yeah. Raymond voted yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
I only messed up at the beginning of the meeting, not at the end. I'm good for 50%.
Yes, Mayor, we do have 2 public comment cards.
Okay,
And the first one up we have is Donna Gosa.
welcome.
one to complain. I feel like positive gets a lot more done. So it's taken me a long time to come here. This is actually a complaint. We have 4 horses next door.
Pull your microphone a little
You
closer.
bet. You bet. I can take my mask off. Just unmask. We're good. No, we're good. We're good. So I provided you with folders. We've lived here for 37 years. My husband and I feel like it's time to file an official complaint. Long ago, we were annexed from the county into the city. There were concessions that were made as a homeowner, and we were told that going forward, those people who had changed ownership would roll into the regular, ordinances. When I looked up the ordinance for animals, it says in the city's ordinance, under animal nuisances, will endanger the life of others, which we're having health issues. My husband has health issues. It's just come to light that the neighbors on the opposite side, both husband and son, have been hospitalized. Whether it's due to this or not, I don't know, but we've lived there more than 35 years, so it's a question I have. Close proximity, the horses are right next to where our patio is. Under animal nuisances, it says causing fouling of the air, unpleasant odor, accumulation of fecal waste, urine, causing unsanitary conditions in enclosures or surroundings. They don't make noise. I don't mind noise. I'm actually an animal lover. That doesn't bother me. Causing danger or offense to public safety, health, welfare, and virtue, number of types of animals maintained. So again, the smell due to the waste and the urine deposited directly across from us and our patio is unbearable, and it's getting worse. The dust, I can tell you, we have daily. Now I live kind of acre and a half. I expect dust, but not daily dust to where everything is covered. Our windows are covered, our cars are covered, everything is covered. My husband has difficulty breathing when he goes outside, especially when they're dragging the field with the manure. It puts it into the manure, as does our neighbors who unfortunately can't be here tonight, but have asked me to speak on their behalf.
Sorry, your time
Okay.
has expired.
So I provided pictures. I provided a detailed letter. So I just really like your help in trying to come up with a solution for this, and I appreciate your time very much tonight.
You're welcome. And then after the meeting, if you like, you get with the police chief and he
Okay,
can, or
that-
Greg Thompson in the back there.
Okay.
After the meeting.
Terrific, I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
so
your time.
much, appreciate your time.
Who do you have next?
Mayor, next we have Jessica Reed.
Welcome. Is it a school board member or a resident?
No, as a regular resident.
Okay. Thought you had good news on the school.
So I'm coming here tonight just to basically say thank you. I'm going to try not to be too emotional to the Atwater Police Department, especially Officer Cardoza. My husband and I, or not my husband, I'm sorry, my son and I were involved in an auto accident about 3 weeks ago. We were stopped behind another vehicle for a pedestrian to cross the street at one of our lovely lit up pedestrian crosswalks, and someone did not brake and rear-ended us. Officer Cardoza did a great job handling the situation, going and talking to my son and calming him down. He was very emotional, as was I. So, thank you to the police department for handling the situation. Also, I just want to urge our citizens of Atwater and those that come to our city to let go of the distractions in the vehicles, let go of your phones, start paying attention to the roads. Those lit up crosswalks are there for a reason. There's so many times, I was sitting in my car, I did not see the guy behind me, but I was thinking, are the people in the right lane going to stop? That was my thought right before I got hit. And to think of the, their student, it was right in front of Bellevue School, so there's students that will be walking across that crosswalk when school begins. So I just urge the public to please pay attention and let those distractions go away and help your fellow citizens. Even when there's an accident, stop, help them out. Don't just leave the scene of the accident. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any more speaker cards?
No more, Mayor. Thank you.
Any members of the public like to come forward at this time? Please come to the podium.
All right, I'll let you finish this out. Let me apologize first. I've got a horrible habit of not filling out a speaker card, but I honestly just sort of do it when I feel led to.
No, you're just trying to be human.
What's that?
You're just trying to be human.
There you go. To err is to be human, right? So, Rich Miller, 334 Silva Drive. I won't forget that. Pastor, Victory Baptist Church, 12A Sierra Vista Street. Councilmember Kale, I want you to know you're not alone. As far as wondering if you forgot something or if something happened. My son yesterday, in between our 2 morning services, came to me and said, "Dad, you're getting old." And I said, "I know, I keep telling people that." He said, "No, you said you're going to be 42 in September. You're going to be 43. And I've made that mistake twice in the last month. So it's all of us are that way, so don't feel bad. But the whole reason why I wanted to get up and say something was because everybody's giving kudos. I want to give kudos to Public Works. We've been having an issue at our church with a leak and in one of the outside restrooms, and Public Works came over, helped us get the water shut off, and then we had to get some plumbers in there, and of course we had to turn it back on so they could do leak detection. And specifically, Ken came over one morning and he turned it back on for us so the plumber could do that. And I said, I'm not sure how long it's going to take him. He said, "You know what? I haven't taken my break. If you want, I'll take my break right here and wait till the plumber's done and shut it back off for you." And that really meant a lot to me because he was putting our need at the top of his agenda. He was willing to take his break right there in the alley behind our church building to help us out. So thank you, Public Works. Thank you, everyone in the city, for all that you do. Appreciate it.
Wow, that's wonderful. Next, who do we have? Jeannie Knight?
Jeannie Knight. I just want to thank all of you guys for the budget. I know it's been a long, hard road, and it's so much better than it was the last 8 years prior to you guys. And also, we need to thank CAL FIRE. Where's the little guy?
Right over here.
You don't get the kudos you get, but you sure need to.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment, and we're going to adjourn to, what? Oh, yeah, we'll do council comments, and we'll adjourn to conference room A. So, Brian, you want to go first or last? Councilman Raymond?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll go first. I'm short and sweet. What I'd like to see for an upcoming agenda would be an amendment or a resolution or something that shows that the sale of any real property or monies we get from previous sales that are still outstanding go towards paying down the debt so we can finally get that retired. And I'd also like to talk about getting a speed sign or speed hump in the 1600 block of Osborne Terrace. There's been multiple complaints over there. I know Chief took the radar trailer out, and some of the residents said it curbs some speeding at first, but now they just see the trailer and keep going to see how fast they can get. So I'd like to talk about that on a future agenda as well.
Okay. Councilwoman Vieira?
Okay, a couple things. I had an opportunity to speak with Corey Billings from our Recreation Department, so I want to bring up a couple of things that are really exciting. We are having a Patriotic Porch Parade. As of today, there's over 50 entries, and they'll continue to take entries till the end of the week. You can visit atwater.org to sign up and view the map of all the entries. Judging will take place on July 1st, and the results will be streamed on Facebook once the judges are finished. We'll also invite the winners to a council meeting to be recognized in July. And we would also like to thank the Atwater Police Officers Association and Victory Baptist Church for sponsoring the awards. The summer youth camps are still taking reservations. It's a great opportunity to have your kids involved in an organized activity. Yay, get them out of the house. More information regarding all of the classes is also available on our website, atwater.org, or on the Facebook page. And they've had several scholarship sponsors step up to help defray the cost of classes. Atwater Rotary Swag, Mayor Creighton, and a couple real estate professionals. So this is a great example of community working together to bring great programs to Atwater. So thank you to the Recreation Department for finding unique ways to bring our community together in these challenging times. Jessica, when you were up and you said earlier to let go of the distractions, and I know what you were talking about, the phones, but as a city of, as our little city here of Atwater, and it's come to a point where I can barely watch the news at night for all of the distractions. We're so fortunate and so lucky that we just live in our little safe community, and so I would urge all of our citizens to let go of the distractions and remember the beauty in the place that we live and our neighbors and our friends and our family. This is a very unique place to be. I look on the news and I can't imagine, oh my gosh, where some of these people live and what they have to go through, and we don't have to do that. So, you know, it's time to just look around and be grateful, you know. Stop and smell the roses. We have that here in our city. Let's be safe and protected and keep a positive attitude. A lot of positive things going forward. I mean, we're in such a good place. Let's preserve that. And thank you. It's such a pleasure to work with this council, and I feel so good. You know, the end of our terms are not far away. And when I look back on where I came in and where we're at now, I can have such a good feeling that we've done a good thing. That's an honor. So thank you.
Awesome. Kale?
Well, first I'd like to say, I hope everyone had a great Father's Day. I know I did. Wonderful Father's Day, and it was great that we were around. It's a shame that we couldn't do it as a family like we wanted to, but it was still a good Father's Day. And that brings me to make sure that we all have a safe and sane Independence Day. And when I say safe and sane, make sure if you're setting off fireworks, they are appropriate and legal fireworks. And trust me, I've gotten a number of calls from people saying, how can we do this? Well, you know what? 1 week before, 1 week after, you do it and enjoy, and try to make sure you do it safe. I want to thank a bunch of individuals who were outside of City Hall on Wednesday supporting our police force. And I especially want to say that, and it was an honor to go out there and shake their hands and say thank you for doing that. Unlike all those people who let me see, how did I put that? Who seem to hate the police, and even those who disagreed with Measure O, and the communities around the country who want to defund the police force. I'm telling you, that will never get my vote. We're here to protect you guys, and we're going to do what we can. And that's all I.
Thank you. Councilman Ambrose.
Well, after today's workshop, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the changes in our rec department, and especially with our mid-years with real numbers and so forth. So you're starting off in a good spot. My daughter already signed up, like I told you earlier, for 2 of these classes for the summer camps. So definitely looking forward to that. Like Councilman Raymond, I would also like to see an amendment to one of our previous resolutions, possibly pausing the increase to the water rates for at least the next 4 months or so to allow our residents to catch up due to any financial issues during this COVID period.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, I'll try to make it quick. I got about 30 things I gotta go over here. No, so, City of San Francisco, City of Atwater. We got a phone call one day to our chief of police. And the mayor of the City of San Francisco writes this: Dear Mayor Creighton, I would like to express my sincerest gratitude and commend the bravery and commitment of the officers who answered the call for mutual aid in San Francisco during our distress. Our city was faced with the challenge of ensuring the safety of thousands of protesters, small business owners, workers, and residents, and your city, the City of Atwater, was instrumental in our ability to meet that challenge. And I want to personally thank the officers that came to our aid and thank the council for your dedication. So this is a nice letter from the mayor of San Francisco. I don't know if we'll ever get another one like this, but this is the first and only letter we've ever gotten from San Francisco in a positive note. And thank you, Chief. And we would go again to help any law enforcement brothers or sisters out there. So we did the right thing. We may not always align on values and other things, but when it comes time to it, we're all Americans, and that's what we need to do. So very impressive. That's for the history books. Also, the 2020 graduates, you guys were caught up in history. We didn't get to go to any ceremonies, and we did a lot of the drive-bys and remote partying and stuff. So the mayor and the city council want to thank you, and we look forward to great things coming from you guys. We didn't get to attend the ceremonies, but we know most of you are going to go off to college. Some of you are going to go off to trade schools, and just think about coming back to Atwater when you guys graduate and continuing the progress that these people started up here. And you're lucky because our parents and grandparents were never in a pandemic, so you have something to tell your grandkids. Also, Councilman Raymond brought up a traffic sign or something earlier. There's one he reminds me of every council meeting after it's over. And it's Orchard Park Avenue and Fruitland going westbound. There's a stop sign on the curve. That could be a right turn 10-mile-an-hour sign instead of a stop sign. And that's the request. So if staff could look at it. Orchard Park was open before Dole closed it. So not giving direction, but if staff can look at it and you guys can change it, or that's the way it's got to be, please get back with Councilman Raymond on that. And we did, the earlier person commented about the horses. We did hear through John Cale, brought it to the chief's attention, and staff's been working on that. So hopefully after the meeting, you guys can get together. And then the other side's also reached out, and there's some confusion. So we just want a peaceful resolution for everybody, and I think the chief's working on that. So please get with him. That will adjourn to conference room A.
Mr. Mayor, are you coming back to this room?
Yes. You want to use the room?
No, whether I'm gonna lock it or not.
We can report out in the,
I should probably move.
yeah, on the record.
I do report back.
Okay.
We'll lock it, Chief. You don't have to stay. Thank you.
Oh, why? Oh. Back in his office.